Director Member Services. The good thing about the show that I liked was that it turned out really nice. The set and decor turned out really good. We did have a good turnout. Not also, but it was pretty much good. But the bad thing about that was UAC's show was the day before. Also, I really like that Japan opening up. That was a good thing we can do maybe next year. The bad part is that we should be stricter on the MCs and try to get their stuff done so that we don't have to do it right before the show and try to get that done. Also, I think there should be less singing acts. There are about 4 this year and 4 dances, so people want to see more dances. Also, checkpoint 3, people don't listen to the runners. We stress that, they don't. And there's one group that tried to constantly sneak up, but the walkie-talkies were good. That I got a hold of Manish right away and make sure, because they would say on us yes, but Manish would tell me no. So it was good communication with that. Also, another good thing was that having dress rehearsal on a Friday and the show on Saturday, because then it allowed the participants to actually go through everything and know how it is, because they kept on complaining why do we have to be here? Why do we have to be here? But they don't understand the fact that you actually do. Also, set and decor, I think it looked really good and not a really good idea, but it was a lot of hard work to do. And next year I don't think we should do as hardcore as it was this year, because it just took too much and it was just a lot of work and we spent during break. And also whoever does director members DM us next year should probably just try to send out more and more emails I did for show committee, but not a lot of people joined. And try to get your friends to join, because that would help out even
Some
more.
sort of incentive for
something, because it was a lot of board members who come in during our spring break and we didn't get to enjoy it. So it was a lot of work.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
Overall, one pro of the show was that it was much more diverse this year in terms of acts. And also, one of the pros that we did intend to start ahead of time, that show coordinators pick beforehand, MCs pick beforehand. But in terms of a con, time is also a con in terms of MCs getting their skits and overall intro video done beforehand. Maybe not finishing up the entire intro video before break, but at least get vital scenes, vital skits done beforehand, so that coordinators have more time to review everything beforehand, so that they're not rewriting skits.
And by beforehand, you mean before Christmas break, right? Try to be detailed.
Beforehand over winter break.
Okay,
and
great.
that we're not rewriting things a week of the show. Things should be done at least over winter break or during January, February.
Okay, and what did you exactly mean about the variety of the acts? If you want to detail.
As opposed to previous years, we focused more on the same hip-hop and Indian fusion bands. This particular year, we had a rock band opening the show that was different. We had Ace, Asian Cultural Exchange.
Okay.
Those are 2 acts that are a little more different. Then it brought a little more diversity to the show. It wasn't just a focus on Indian or Southeast Asia in general.
Perfect.
Okay, one good thing about the show was we had a lot of people backstage. Even though we didn't need 2 runners at checkpoint 2, we had 2, and whenever I was on, Sabina was able to take over, and it wasn't crazy back there. One bad thing, I would say, the communication between e-board, show committee, and participants. I feel like everybody was just everywhere. A lot of things were done last minute, so maybe that was the problem. But communication, I think, is key that we can improve on things.
How do you think we can improve in communication?
I think really sit down with e-board maybe 2 weeks before, besides e-board meetings, because those go long enough, and be like, okay guys, this is really important, we need to sit down, you guys need to understand exactly what you're doing. Yeah, sit down and talk. Way ahead though.
Talk, okay. Maybe have it on paper.
Yeah, and constantly talk through emails with show committee and the show chairs.
Okay. Do you think we should definitely get started earlier?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Hey Future E-Board, this is AD, and I was a marketer for the show for 2008 to 2009. Marketing was very good, but a couple changes. Since there were 3 marketers, I think one marketer should be focused in on formal and have that set up ahead of time, whereas the other 2 can focus more on show and be more attentive to those kinds of things. And divvying up work is a major key that needs to be kind of decided ahead of time.
What kind of work could you think you divvy up among the 2 marketers?
I mean, we have events going on throughout, So, as shows progressing, the show's not our only thing. We got to concentrate on other areas too. And that can be kind of, it can clash with some things when you're working on the flyer, banner, etc. So, you have one concentrated, everybody should get an equal hand as far as show goes. But, formal kind of came up like the week right after. So it would be good to kind of, get that done ahead of time. Other events that we have, have one person kind of concentrate on that, and then have one person kind of concentrate on the main flyer.
Okay.
That'd be one suggestion. Something else I think is e-board videos should be done probably ahead of time, maybe towards the beginning of the year, have it kind of finalized from the fall quarter, film winter quarter. That way we kind of, we know exactly what direction we're going to head in and have things set up ahead of time. The show this year was great. I think the way we ran things was very well. We did run into a couple of technical difficulties, which I think, doing things ahead of time may help alleviate those problems in the future.
Hey guys, thanks for Shubhash. I was this year's treasurer on e-board, and basically I thought the show was great. We did a really good job, possibly a better job than last year. The show, all the acts were good, and I mean we involved not just DePaul but other schools as well, and other organizations at DePaul, which was good. There's some stuff to say about the show. The date of the show was April 11th, which fell on Easter weekend, which I think actually a lot of my personal friends would have been there if it wasn't Easter weekend, so maybe analyze the date better and make sure that it's also not at the same time as UIC. That would be good. Food. We did this a little last minute this year, but hopefully we can try and see. We get pizza every year, and it's cheap and cost effective, but possibly we can think about getting a deal ahead of time to possibly move pizza on one day and get change of food, because our participants do a lot, so we kind of want to give them a little something back. VIP seating, we didn't fill up on all of our seats, and VIP seating might not be necessary, so we can look into that. This year we had 5 rows, and possibly next year we could only have 2 rows or 3 rows. Maybe better, possibly we get more revenue. Show committee. Show committee. Okay, this year's show committee turned out to be e-board, and that's not the way it should be. Show committee should be a separate organization from students on SASA. And this was kind of like bang bang. Some people turned up to it, and then eventually I don't think the emails were very clear, and most people just drifted away and didn't want to do show committee, so it fell on a select few people, mainly people on e-board. So hopefully next year we can make show committee, try and involve people in show committee to a greater extent, because then they'll put less strain on e-board too, and they can do a better job working on the show. Okay, the big thing is funding, obviously, because I didn't know funding for the show. Okay, things to do is the SAFB. You have to, whoever the treasurer is for next year, you have to overestimate what you're gonna pay. Because this year we pinpointed each and the exact cheapest cost which we need for the show, and then let's just say, for example, that we asked them for $14,000. And then we appropriated all the costs out, and we possibly said that we also added, and we were going to add money in from our own. And really, at the end of the day, they didn't look at what we were going to put in. They just said, "You're asking for $14,000. We're going to give you 50% of what you asked for. We're going to give you $7,000." So at that point, I was like, "Oh, why didn't I ask for $16,000? Maybe they would have given me $8." So kind of, you don't always have to look at the lowest cost. Maybe in the long run, you won't pay for the highest cost, but maybe you can put the highest estimates, and in the way it'll balance out in the end, and you can get some more funding for the show. Okay, and whoever is the treasurer, for your funding, you need sources, possibly more than one would be better, for each and everything. If you do not have a source for possibly everything that you need, they won't give you funding for it. Okay, you get funding from 2 places. You get from the SAFB, you get from SAFB, and you get from the Culture Center. For Culture Center, you really have to emphasize the cultural aspect of the show. Because otherwise, that's what they really believe in. That's why they're giving it to our organizations. You just have to really strain how you can do that, how you can get back to the community, how it's going to help DePaul. And also funding dates. Pay close attention to it. Don't do it last minute just because the funding date is the next Friday. Don't do it Thursday before, because then you might just be stuck. And also get it in early, because they only possibly take the first 10 to 15 funding things. And if you don't get it in, then you have to wait until the next